Howdy folks, it's Thanos here, and welcome back to Cyberpunk 2077 Nomad V. And last we left off, we finished off, we got Johnny out of our head, but, now we have about, 6 months left to live. We got a very bad diagnosis from, what is going on up here? We have 7 pounds and only 151 bucks. Apparently so. Apparently, all we got is the shirt on our back, apparently. So, anywho, we apparently have one more thing left to do. So let's go ahead and do that and get to talking with people.
Yet here I am. Disappointed?
That remains to be seen, child.
Alright, so yeah, just a quick comment back and forth with each other, that's fine. Picked up some stuff. Need a bowl. Alright, let's discuss plans. Alright. Plans, let's go through it again.
Right. So the plan. One more time.
Yeah, because I didn't hear it the first time.
Any official crossing, I think you know that, right? So there's this old smuggling tunnel. Forgotten. We'll aim to use that. It's near the wall.
Wait. Are we talking about one of those famous Aldecaldo tunnels?
Mm-hmm. One of the oldest ones, this one too. They dug through right after the First War.
Aldecaldo stopped using it years ago. We got tipped off that Night Corp had found it and started monitoring the area.
You scan it? You sure the tunnel's even open? Hasn't caved in anywhere?
It's open along its entire course. And all it needs is to stay open for us this last time. Then it can collapse. We won't be needing it anymore.
Alright, what about defense systems?
Look, the tunnel's cool and all, but we gotta get there first. And what about security up and down the border? Whole area's brimming with tech. Drones on perpetual patrol. Heavier stuff too, maybe.
Don't worry. We know what's there and what to do about it. And Carol and Cassidy will keep the corpos off our tail.
Alright, so what about when we're on the other side?
Great. And once we've crossed, what then?
We'll make for our meeting point, join the rest of our people there, then we'll move on towards Tucson.
And once there, we call the shots, right?
We know the roads like the back of our hand. And down in Arizona, we have some old favors to call in.
So even if I wanted to, I got nothing to worry about.
Starting today, it's not all on your back. You're no longer alone, V. You'll get used to it. It's nice.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Well, time to move. Before that storm finds us.
Oh, we gotta go back in here, huh? Okie dokie. Fine. I don't think this tank likes me very much. You know? Alright. Ready to move, Panam?
We're ready. After you, Panam.
Alright, we're leading the
We
way.
all set?
Mm-hmm.
So jack in. Let's get the hell out of here.
You got it.
This
Yeah.
is your big new
Are you driving? You,
We have to start it like a
driving?
real
Are you
nomad.
driving?
Behind the proverbial wheel.
I'm driving.
Mostly go straight. Go around the bigger holes and don't lose the rest. Got it? I will deal with the nitro. The mix will go straight to the cylinders.
Okay.
If I don't sync it just right manually, it could blow us to bits.
I think that's best avoided.
Fuck. I just realized something.
What?
The border wall. It wasn't here when I was little. I never imagined it would be. But I had this inkling that everything was different up north. That some bright fucking future awaited me there.
Yeah, I think I know what comes next. Once you wound up on the other side and nothing changed, you thought Night City was the answer. Everything would change there.
Yes. And you know the tale's end, too.
Huh.
I'm returning. Right back to where I started. Fuck.
No. Might be the same place on the other side, same space, but you're different. Totally different.
All in all, you're right. And I have you. And the rest of these clowns.
There we go, right into the storm. It's right there. Hey, fellas.
Ready?
Been ready always.
Then hit it! Home stretch! Full speed ahead!
Okay. Seems full speed is 20 miles an hour. Okay.
Carol, Cassidy, get moving.
I'm heading west and activating the jammers.
They've marked me.
Okay, we can't shoot
I'm
anything.
turning east to get them off your tail. Good luck, kids. See you on the other side.
Alright, we have like a boost. Looks like we're almost there. Maybe. That's a rock.
The nitro is ready.
Okay.
Goodbye to Night City. It's your last chance.
Nothing left to say.
Yeah, we've already left. Said everything we needed to say. We've already said our goodbyes. And to the people we left behind, both alive and dead,
You're up. The wheel is yours.
thank you.
Let's ride.
Alright. I got control of nothing now.
Exactly what you wanted. A new beginning.
Don't slow down, Panam. Not yet.
Alright, let's get through this tunnel. Let's see what's on the other side. Hello. Man, oh man. So if we technically like die twice, we're gonna die a third time now. Cause that's say like the soul leaving your body and then going back in. That counts. Being constructed. Making a construct and then putting the construct back in. That's basically like soul leaving the body. Alright, letting go, huh? You goofy man, you V. The nomad who's a shit driver and a shit shot. Can't handle his liquor. Somehow made his way through all of this.
It's perfect. All great, Panam. We're going home.
Well. Alright, what do we got now? That'll be it, yeah? In fact, it's gonna be it.
Hey, V, how's life out there in the desert? Getting some sun? Some fresh air in those lungs? Don't forget to get yourself a checkup every once in a while. Any dust or dirt gets into that insulation, you're done. Of course, decent ripper is harder to find out there than a 4-star hotel. So actually, how about you just stop by when you're back in the city, huh? Think I could swing a little discount for an old regular like you.
Yeah, sorry, Vic.
Till next time, V.
Not gonna happen.
Hey, V.
Hey, Judy.
Long time no see. Let me guess, you still the top of your game in all of Night City? Yeah, I left all that. I guess I'm just calling to say thanks. For everything. Wasn't until I'd left everything behind that I realized how depressed I was for all that time. Take it from me, V. If you ever get the chance, just leave. Leave and don't look back. The weight it takes off your shoulders, I can't even describe it.
Good for you, Judy.
All right, enough lecturing.
Good for you.
Take it easy, man.
Hey, V, listen, I don't think I'll make it back to camp tonight. Sandstorm's coming our way. No choice but to sit tight and hold it out. Just wanted to say, I know this isn't the first time. You know, that we had plans. Never realized how hard being a chief would be. Always looked so easy from the outside. I'm so lucky to have you, V. You can't even begin to imagine how much it means to me. How... Guess it's time to go. I'll make it up to you. I promise.
V, hey. Christ, that run we did. My heart's still pounding. The pack of nomads versus Arasaka. Oh, I mean, the odds were totally stacked against us. I didn't know if we'd get out alive. But hey, we made it. And you know why? Because you were the one leading the charge, V. The craziest, baddest merc from Pacifica to the Appalachians. I don't know what you're up to right now, what your plans are. But just remember, we'd walk through hell and back with you, brother, anytime.
And
Until next time, eh?
I don't want to
Take care.
talk through all of these, but I hope they're wrapping up soon so I can talk about thoughts on the game. Okay, I think that... Nope, there's Rogue.
Gotta hand it to you, V. I'm impressed. When you told me you were gonna go after Hellman, I was sure you'd come back as a garbage bag full of smithereens. But you didn't. I'm not usually wrong about people and what they're capable of. I'm curious to see what else you've got in ya. If you're looking for your next job, you know where to find me.
Yeah, I'm not going to be taking anything from you, Rogue.
V,
Hey, there's River.
So, here's the thing. A couple fellas from the 5th Precinct busted a shop selling illegal iron. Sawed-offs, stun guns, mustard gas canisters. Orders from on up were to blow it all to the ground. But then I thought, maybe there's a better way to use all this stuff for a good cause. I still remember what you did for us. For me and Randy. This city needs more people like you. And I'm gonna make sure they're equipped. This one's on me, V. See you around.
Interesting, River. Starting your own, like, militia.
Hey, V. Listen, I was just thinking about you, so I laid out a quick tarot. I know the reading's not as strong without you here, but we haven't seen each other for so long, and well, one thing led to another. You know what I drew? The chariot, the lovers, and the sun. Looks like you've got a good life ahead of you out in the Badlands.
Damn right.
Good luck, V. Be free.
Okay. Alright, I hope that's it. In terms of everybody, I think that was everybody. Alright. So, I'm going to lower the volume down for me. It'll probably still be a little bit high for y'all, but who knows. And probably it's going to be copyright, who knows. So I may have to figure out something later in the audio. But hey. So I'm just turning the audio off for me. But it'll probably still be playing for y'all. But, yeah, that's Cyberpunk 2077. That's probably the shortest playthrough of something that's a big time RPG that I've in a while. Because I think we're probably close to 40 hours into it. And usually with something like this, we get closer to like 50 or 60 when I'm playing on a first playthrough. I may not get everything done, but I do like to do as much as I can, see what I can. But for the way the story was progressing on a first time playthrough, a lot of the stuff was just seemed inconsequential, and I never could convince myself that to go around and do jobs I couldn't find a good motivation to go out and do that stuff for the most part, as opposed to all the other quests. Other quest motivations were like the people that I'm helping, made friends along the way and helping them out, as opposed to, ooh, make more money and, do other things. And the cars seemed, miscellaneous, and I'm just not interested. I'm not a person who's interested in the cars, and I thought the cars were, like, I know this is the feature part of the game, and so that's going to how travel goes, but it just doesn't work for me. It's too distracting. Driving is too distracting compared to, like, riding a horse or any other type of mount in a fantasy game. And so when I'm driving, I'm focused on being a good driver and not hitting pedestrians and, other cars and all that stuff, and, following the road stuff. Making sure I'm going the way I'm supposed to be going. And so all those distractions lead to not experiencing the world around you like you do when you're on a horse or another mount in whatever fantasy game that you usually play. And so really didn't get to do a lot of just exploring and experiencing what the world had to offer. And that's on me, but I just I couldn't get a good, I couldn't get a good reason to do that with the way the travel system is set up. And as far as story goes, I like the characters that we got involved with. Jackie was great for what time that we had with him. I mean, we have side characters like Judy was very interesting with her relationship with goodness, the name of the lady that starts with a V. Not a V. It's not start with V. It starts with an E. Sorry, with an E. She was a doll, and she got us that job, and da-da-da-da. Anywho. But they were interesting and fun, and the things that we got to do with them were fun. Panam's great. Well-rounded character. And the Nomad stuff was super fun. I don't know how, if you even, do the Nomad stuff when you're doing the, corporate background or the other background, or if if they generate a different faction for you to go to and work with, and then another love interest, so you probably don't even meet Panam if you don't do Nomad. It's how I'm assuming it'll work. So there's a lot still left to explore for me with Cyberpunk 2077. But going through the main story, I had fun with it. Is an interesting choice at the end. Where for this V that we played here, the only choice was to live out your life out on the road. You have someone that loves you and you love them, and so you take that time to spend with each other until that moment's gone, as opposed to going off and chasing the cyberspace. If V wasn't as probably a good a person as I made him in this, to where if I were to do a shittier V playthrough, then probably that would probably be a choice that he makes. Or just a V that lost all ties to the mortal realm. I don't know if that's the only word I'm coming up with there. No, the mortal realm. But if we're doing that, I'm gonna do some live stuff here. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna turn the volume down, so maybe that'll work in maybe be able to hear me better later on. I know we've been talking for a while, but I like to go through at least all the credits. Obviously, a lot of people worked on this game. Their CD Projekt Red has become a huge studio, and this is their first hiccup. It's like a huge problem and something that needs to be fixed for whatever their next release is of any game they work on. Hopefully they take the lessons from this, and I know it's extenuating circumstances with the everything that's going on in the world, but we can't use anything to excuse what's happened to this game. There are lots and lots of problems. Even my PC version wasn't immune to those problems. Even now, like, we had doors that wouldn't open so we could progress through the final mission. That was really bad. We had to freaking reload to get through that issue. That's not okay. That needs to be fixed. Anyone who's bought the game on console and the stuff that's really bad is over there, that's not okay. That stuff needs to be fixed. And so it's they've taken a hit in terms of they were like the savior of AAA games to some. I enjoy CD Projekt Red a lot. I was a big they're the ones who got me into the Witcher series. So I probably would have never read the Witcher books if not for them releasing the Witcher video game. And I'm very happy that they did. I'm very happy with those games. Those games are super fun. I still play them to this day. I'm going to go back into Witcher 2 some more. That's probably the one I've played the least. I've played Witcher 1 a ton because that's just how I got started with the whole thing. And so I have a lot of nostalgia for that game, even though it's a mess. But it's just a mess because of, whenever you make something for the first time, it's going to be messy. But for all its flaws, I love the heck out of it. And then Witcher 3 is just a masterpiece of RPGs. Like creme de la creme. Like since Baldur's Gate 2, it's Dragon Age Origins for me. It's all those things. And this is I was with it. I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's made me a fan of the Cyberpunk universe. And that's always kind of like, at the end of the day, does the thing that I am doing, consuming, however it is you want to say it, the game I'm playing, if it makes me a fan of something that I've never experienced before, then it's done its job very well. I enjoyed Cyberpunk. I enjoyed the world. I enjoyed all the, themes and things that it's saying with the world. We don't need to reconnect right now. We're fine. Just let the credits roll game. But, what is being alive? What is a soul? And all those things, as you get further and further into technology, how much does flesh and blood matter? Because we already talk we already do more talk of our brain as a computer, as opposed to talking of computers as brains. We already do the reverse of that. So when people were explaining what computers did back in the day, they had said, well, it works kind of like our brains work, and and it makes decisions and it goes through certain paths and blah blah blah. And now when we talk about it like our brains work like computers when explaining things, because it's easier to understand that way, just because we're so technologically savvy now and understand technology better than we do probably our own physiology at this point. So yeah, it's crazy, and I'll definitely be like playing this again. I don't know when I'll go back to playing it. Probably gonna wait for a second playthrough on my own. That's not gonna be on the channel. Where when things are fixed. So probably in a couple months. Hopefully when things are fixed. And just do it that way. Because, man oh man, I was very happy to be able to get through the whole story without something game-breaking happening or file corrupting or anything like that. Very happy that didn't happen. So yeah. Man, these credits have been going on for a while. Like I said, a lot of people put a lot of work into this game, and I'm very appreciative of all those guys' hard work. It's not you guys' fault. It's executives putting pressure to release the game so that they can make money for for a quarter, so that they're how it is. You know how business is. And that's the thing, when business takes over and says it's done enough, as opposed to the people who are supposed to be running the project. If your project, the guy who leads the overall project needs to have final say, and he can take the executives opinions in he can take those, but he also needs to take the opinions of what they see, and what other people who are working on this game say to him. And they didn't listen. They gave in to the exec's demands. And that's a shame, because the game wasn't ready. And I know they had to delay for all these sort of certain things, but I'm always happy when that a game comes out and that it comes out on time. I mean, not comes out on time. My goodness. The game comes out and it comes out ready to play. Because now, before this, CD Projekt Red didn't have that on their resume. They do now. Like every other company, like Ubisoft, Activision, freaking Bethesda, CD Projekt Red, EA. CD Projekt Red is now on that list of AAA companies that released the game before it was done. And that sucks. Because I didn't want them on that list. I didn't want you guys to be on the list. But now you are. And so expectations from y'all have now been lowered. Standards, however, are not. Just because y'all miss the standard doesn't mean that the standards have lowered. Standard stays the same. Release a game when it's ready to come out, not before. Don't release broken shit. It's that simple. I liked a lot of the options in terms of customization for characters. I didn't get a good enough look at that into how many different outfits we could get. I know there's probably a bunch of stores around that give specific things that I need to go back and look at. Could have found a cowboy hat, could have found cowboy boots. That would have been perfect for this V, and that's the one thing that I'm upset about. Is that I never got Nomad V cowboy boots and hat. Or maybe we could have found a whole cowboy outfit, who knows. That would have been great. We'll have to find that another time. As far as antagonists go, I mean, Johnny kind of. I mean, he's the antagonist because he's the reason we're dying. It's an interesting antagonist because it's not his fault. So that's interesting about that. And he's also an antagonist that's not in exact opposite of you, and it doesn't. You don't have to resolve the conflict with the antagonist by killing the antagonist or defeating them. It's just, now he's off doing his thing and we're off doing ours now. Once we've solved a problem, and we're trying to solve the same problem. That's all very interesting. I'm very happy with that. Those are interesting choices for story. And it's very fun. The Arasaka stuff, I could have given less of a shit. I'm sorry to say. Takimura's fine. Is just a bit annoyed, and I couldn't find a reason for V to like him very much, or he can V had respect for him and I had respect for him, but it is hard for me to find a reason for V to like him and to do anything other than just the jobs that we needed to do in order to get what we needed to do. And the Arasaka people, like the sister and the brother's pretty two-dimensional, I think, and the sister has a third dimension to her, and maybe if we, did her side of the thing, we'd learn more about it. But again, she seemed to be willing to let us do her dirty work for her. And it's like, I'm not going to kill my brother myself, but I'm okay with telling you to do so. Which was weird. And so that's where V lost the respect of that person. And it's like, okay, if you don't want to dirty your hands with this, fine. We're not gonna help you out. But we got what we needed to find. There were smaller antagonists. I mean, we had our first guy who gave us jobs. I forget his name because it was so long ago. But he was okay. I liked he was unique. He was a unique character. He had his own way of speaking, which is really hard to do when creating characters. So very happy about that. Same thing with Jackie. Has a unique way of speaking that's only Jackie. Like if anybody else were to do that, it's just them trying to be Jackie. Because Jackie, you'd hear things and it's like, okay, that's Jackie. Jackie said that. Same thing with that guy that gave us a job. I thought Keanu did a good job as Johnny Silverhand. I mean, he's a professional, so I guess I wouldn't expect anything less. Johnny Silverhand's interesting. Thankfully, I don't know if this is even a thought in the head of the people who made the game or not. But I wonder if it was... They talked about the constructs and consciousness being intertwined. and it's overriding V to become Johnny Silverhand. But I wonder if it worked both ways, because he seemed to be a bit more agreeable about other things that he wasn't in the first place. And so I was wondering if there were some characteristics of V that was showing up with Johnny as well, and not just the fact that we're continually being overridden by Johnny throughout the story before Alt fixed us for the time being. So yeah, I mean, if these credits are gonna go all on forever, then I'm not gonna. They said there was a fast forward thing, right? Alright, we're reconnected. Wasn't there like a fast forward? I don't want to like stop them from happening. Is there anything making it go faster? There it is. Okay, we can do that. That's nice. Stuff. I mean, all you guys deserve credit for what you guys do. Unless y'all are a-hole executives who forced the game to come out before it was ready. But everybody else, you did a fine job. Okay. I think we're getting close. Community mods. You guys did all great work. There's the songs. Lots of different songs. The video's done by this point. I've had my say about everything. I think we covered everything I wanted to cover. Formed by Refused. It's a good name. These are going by every radio network. Good lord. Deaf Kids. There's some good names in here. Picasso. Polyface. Processor Plus. So yeah, these are all. Music was some of the, I mean, I didn't probably get to hear a majority of it, but some of the music that we had on whatever station we had it on was fine and good. Soundtrack wise, I mean, the best thing I can say about it is that I wasn't distracted. The only time I was distracted was when there was a bug for the Johnny Silverhand guitar riff. It just kept constantly playing that single line of the guitar riff over and over and over and over and over. That was really bad. But the best thing I can say about the soundtrack is that it was noticeable. There were a few times where I noticed it for good reasons, and I was like, "Oh yeah, swelling, dramatic moment. Here we go, good music." Like the violins and stuff, that was all great. But the best compliment I can give to the music is that it wasn't distracting in terms of soundtrack, not the radio stuff. The soundtrack to the game wasn't distracting, and it set the atmosphere the whole time. There wasn't times where I was like, what's going on here? Nothing felt out of place. Everything felt like it was on purpose, and that it should have been there. And like, yeah, I'd hear these sounds for a thing like that. They all set the tone, set the theme. You know, that's what good soundtrack music does. That doesn't distract you from what's going on. It just accentuates and makes everything consistent throughout. Oh, look, all these books. Okay. We mentioned all these books because of their influences, or because they're actually in here. Ozymandias. I read a lot of those books. Very happy. I gotta go back in the video and figure out why those books were listed, because that's interesting. I haven't seen a game list books unless it's like directly adapted from something. Very interesting. Oh, cyberpunk babies. Pandy babies. Alright. A lot of trademarks in there. He wears eyeglasses that were designed. Interesting. That's something that's weird in video games right now. Where there's digital sponsorships in games. And kind of get it with movies. There we go. Thanks for playing. Correct, so you complete the main storyline of Cyberpunk 2077. Remember, in that Night City never sleeps, there's still so much to see and do. You can continue from your last open world checkpoint where you'll have a special reward waiting for you. Would you like to keep playing? No, I'm going to go back to the menu. I am done for now. So, till next time, this has been Zethios, signing out for now. Bye, folks. Till the next one.